So I can't say that this is a surprising outcome. We did bring up the idea yesterday about Corey Perry and whether or not he actually had the potential to get claimed by a team after getting placed on waivers yesterday. But news updates from Frank Saravalli and Elliot Friedman go out there and say, yep, he hasn't been claimed. He cleared. And his contract will now be terminated by Chicago, effective immediately. Now, you may be going out there and asking, what does this mean for Corey Perry, the guy? What does this mean for Corey Perry, the hockey player? Well, as we had talked about yesterday, the guy's cap hit was pretty okay for the caliber of play and the production he provided. $4.something million on a one-year deal, and he had 9 points in 16 games played. Definitely not bad production for a guy in that cap range. And it actually would have been an improvement over all the seasons he has had as of late, spanning back to 2017-18. So if he just continued with that point production metric, this would have been a legitimately great year for Corey Perry, and at 38 years old nonetheless. But either way, it's apparent that no NHL team wanted to take their chances. They did not want to get involved in this situation. Nobody claimed him for free. So my question now is, firstly, what the heck happens to Corey Perry? Does he go overseas? Does he just stop playing hockey altogether? Does he retire at this point? I have no idea. But also, in addition to this Corey Perry clearing waivers news, I wanted to go over this article published by Emily Kaplan on ESPN. The article quotes say this, that a source told ESPN's Emily Kaplan that Corey Perry traveled with the Blackhawks to Columbus last Tuesday, a day before the game, and an incident occurred that day involving a team employee. Perry, who did not play on Wednesday, was immediately pulled from the game once the club was notified, and at that point, they began an investigation. So, this article from Emily Kaplan, which is going to be put in the description if you want to go ahead and read this yourself, we're going to go over some of the quotes in this one. What if we zoom in here? Does that look better? If we move the page over, yeah, okay. That sounds good. Blackhawks waive Corey Perry for unacceptable conduct. This was published yesterday by Ryan S. Clark. It goes over some of the quotes made by Kyle Davidson in the press conference, wherein he said pretty much that there was a front office investigation done because of a team trip last week when Corey Perry committed possible misconduct. Davidson spoke with reporters for 10 minutes to address the team's decision to move on from Perry after the Blackhawks announced earlier in the day that they placed the 38-year-old on unconditional waivers for the purpose of terminating his contract. Now, this is where the statements come in. In their initial statement, the Blackhawks allege Perry engaged in conduct they described as unacceptable, saying that it was a violation of both the terms of his contract and the team's internal policies that are intended to promote professional and safe work environments. They did not detail what allegedly happened. Now, we saw the internet getting up to what the internet does. Because there was no confirmation, because there was no details, because there was no nothing, they started running rampant with a rumor that was pretty gosh darn bad. But Davidson goes out there and addresses those. This has been a tough situation, and I understand you wanted answers. It was important that we took all the necessary steps before sharing more. I hope you can understand that I may not be able to answer everything, but I'm going to be as open and honest as I can be given the situation and out of respect for those involved. Now, the interesting thing is, we didn't really learn too much about it. Like, Davidson said, yeah, I'll try to be as open and honest as I can be, and hey, guess what? That amount of openness and honesty was like 0.01%. It wasn't really much. He also said it was a workplace matter as to what happened, and it was a team incident, and so it was a team decision. There was no extra details pretty much involved afterwards. They even asked, hey, how did Perry respond to the team's decision? And he declined to get into details about that. I mean, he also says that he spoke with the team to inform the players that Corey Perry was out, but the players have no knowledge about anything that's happened. It's obviously been very tough, said Davidson, who got choked up at different moments of his news conference. It's been a tough couple of days. Now, the video is right here if you wanted to listen to it yourself, but it was noted by most people who watched the press conference that Kyle Davidson, I mean, the guy looks like he's about to cry in this video. It's definitely not like a stern, stoic type of conversation he had with the media. He looks upset. Something happened here that we don't really know about. Of course, I mean, the Emily Kaplan sources indicate that it was something that involved a team employee. But as it is highlighted here in the article and during the press conference, this wasn't a criminal thing. This is not a police-defined investigation. This is just the team talking to Corey Perry and acknowledging that something happened wherein he breached his conduct within the contract and he broke whatever it is the Chicago Blackhawks have in regards to having, internal policies intended to promote professional and safe work environments. What that means, I have no idea, because there could have probably been some sort of a legal case if it was like any form of harassment. There might have been some other stuff that could have been investigated. We talked about this in the video yesterday, but police records, police investigations, this stuff is usually public, especially if there's like an arrest made or anything like that. Milan Lucic, Alex Galchenyuk, these examples have been brought up just within the past few months. So for Corey Perry to not have anything like that on his plate indicates to me that it wasn't like a criminal thing. But if it was bad enough to get fired from the Chicago Blackhawks, then I wonder what it is that actually did happen. Let's scroll down here in the article and read a little bit more. The questions around Perry's absence eventually led to social media speculation over the past few days that, we're not going to get into that anymore. Davidson addressed those rumors in his opening statement, which was kind of wild. Like, to be honest, I didn't really realize that most people were running with that as an actual thing. I thought it was more so of a joke. Like, I think most people are smart enough to understand that that didn't happen, right? But here's the thing. When social media rumors get so big, get so wild, and snowball in the way they did yesterday, look, it's gonna be in the spotlight. So the fact that Davidson did address it, that doesn't surprise me, but at the same time it kind of does, because the rumor itself was so, unrealistically crazy. But also, I mean, the fact is, sports people and sports athletes, they are celebrities. And when you're in the public eye, when you're in the public spotlight, when you are a celebrity, when things like this get traction, people are going to talk about it, and that's what the internet did, because we didn't have any reason to doubt otherwise. This press conference that they held should have been held like the other day, when the entire rumors were starting up, and when everybody was still going around asking, hey, what the hell happened to Corey Perry? When people didn't have a predisposed idea of a big rumor that took up their minds and said, yeah, this is what happened with Corey Perry, this happened. They should have done their due diligence in trying to nip this in the bud earlier, but hey, mistakes can be made, right? At the end of the day, though, the Chicago Blackhawks are going out there and doing what a lot of people said they should have done in certain situations in the past. They identify a problem, there's some workplace conduct, and they cut ties immediately. Sure, you would like a little bit more openness here because you didn't get much out of Kyle Davidson, but at the end of the day, this is a pretty good thing. It's a pretty good standard to set for an organization that wants to uphold values of having a positive and safe working environment for its players and its executives. This is not something you could have said in the past. So at the end of the day, Corey Perry has cleared waivers. He is not in the NHL anymore. Who knows what happens to him? Does he go to Europe? Does he stay at home? Does he sign with a minor team? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below about Corey Perry clearing, as well as the extra information we had received afterwards. I hope you enjoyed this video. And bye.